everyone. Thank you for joining the Wealth Approach podcast. I'm joined, as always, by Megan and Michael. I think as we think about starting the year, many people focus on their health or going back to the gym and kind of set some goals for the year. So I think in this conversation, we really wanted to talk a little bit about that, but then bring it back to maybe you should think similarly about either your personal financial plan, getting organized, and some topics around that to start the year.
Yeah, so I think it's unavoidable. In January, everyone is having the conversation. What's your New Year's resolution? What's your New Year's resolution? And, most people probably have some form of health and wellness goals in there that they want to achieve, whether it's weight loss or whether it's just being more active. So I don't know about you, JR, but I know I had be more active on my list of things to do. How about you?
Well, my wife set us up for 30-minute boot camps twice a week during lunch. So that's kind of what we've done to start the year. So I think it's a good thing when you focus on your health, and have some goals and those kinds of things always. And it's hard, I think, getting past January and beyond. A lot of people let those fade into the memory. And here we're trying to kind of keep a focus and discipline on both that as well as this financial and planning discussion.
Yes. So in looking at these three words right here, I think most people might by default think of health goals, that this is associated with some type of health goal, being disciplined, dedicated, having structure. But when we're discussing it, we think there's a ton of parallels between physical fitness and financial fitness, which we'll kind of dig into a little bit throughout this podcast to walk through some parallels for all of you.
Right. And, with New Year's resolutions, hitting the gym, no pun intended, sometimes those resolutions don't always work out. So with, when it comes to your financial fitness and you think about as Megan said, the parallels with your physical fitness, any trainer that you have is going to tell you that it's important to warm up before you start into your main workouts. So when we think of working out as it relates to your financial fitness, it's really about, establishing sort of where you are today, sort of the starting point, your base level, and then really figuring out where your goals are and where you want to be. And it doesn't necessarily need to be where you want to be in, say, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, but maybe by the end of the year. And then what are breaking down, what are those steps that you need to achieve in order to get there? And with that in mind, you want to set up, a net worth statement so you can see where your assets are, where your liabilities are. Take a look at your income that's coming in. Where is it just from your employment? Do you have other sources of investment income? And then try and put all those things together to create that plan to help you achieve those goals for whatever that time period is that you're looking for.
Michael, I think on that topic, it's important to remember, I mean, it seems overwhelming if you are really just starting out. But again, just like working out, you're not going to get results in one day, 1 week, 1 month. You really establish the starting point and the plan of things you're going to do and not get stressed out that you don't have the financial results or the organization results right away. It's really a long-term. And then we talk about dedication and discipline, and it's important. But again, I agree. It's that starting point is so important.
And on that topic as well, with being overwhelmed, this is a great starting point to bring in a partner to help keep you on track. So with working out, that'd be a personal trainer. When it comes to your financial fitness, this is a great starting point to bring in a financial advisor to help you through this process, because they can help establish where you're starting and then also what necessary steps you're going to need to take to move along the path to get to where you want to be. So the next parallel we thought about was exercise. So this is something you need to do on a regular basis. And the parallel we found was using a budget. So this is not to say that you have to budget every day and track your credit card and stress over every expense like that, but just make it a routine that you do either on a monthly or quarterly basis to make sure that you're on track. And this will help. A parallel with working out is kind of targeting different muscle groups. From a budgeting perspective, it's targeting different areas of your financial life that you need to focus on. So whether it's increasing your savings bucket to get to that healthy reserve or increasing your investment bucket to get to that long-term goal that you want to reach over time, or cutting back unnecessary expenses. This is something you could do on a regular basis that will help make you stronger over time to just stay on track. So consistent exercise.
Well, and thinking about that, Megan, I mean, speaking personally, like to me, I think when you see the money in your checking account, it's easy to reallocate that to something fun or something that maybe doesn't get your long-term goals in place. So it's really that discipline when you set either the savings or investments, sticking to that. Your paycheck comes in or your bonus comes in, and you immediately reallocate. Don't get over emotional. Is the stock market too high or too low? Is the economy slower, right? You stick to that. You keep the investment portfolio going, and it's really works out well. But I think a lot of people, you know, aren't as disciplined about their checking account, leave the money, and then it ends up being allocated somewhere that doesn't meet your long-term objectives.
Yeah, and that's not to say that you can't have fun experiences. It's just make sure to pay yourself first. And by yourself, we mean your investment account, your savings account. Make sure all of your goals are taken care of. And then anything over that, that is what it should be used for fun experiences that you know, have budgeted out. But make sure to take care of yourself, exercise consistently, and pay yourself first.
It's not now thinking about building stamina. So, you know, kind of from the workout analogy, you're now 6 months into your workout, and you really want to, you know, kind of take and build more results and continue on the path. And when you bring it back to investing is similar. You're not going to invest today and have 100% return in a month or a year. It's really looking at kind of building the plan, making sure you allocate, you're not too conservative or you're not too aggressive, depending on where you are in your career or if you're getting closer to retirement. Make sure that all of kind of your investing objectives match your goals and needs. And it's a good time to continue to check, especially as you're starting the year. How did I do last year? What's the outlook for the year? Where's my needs within my plan? And then as you look at your cash flow for the year, how much more can I save this year? Or what other items do I need? A new car? Am I looking for a new house? You know, you kind of set aside how much you need in savings and then really reallocate that extra cash flow, looking at your short and long-term plan. But again, from an investing perspective, you know, as a reminder, the turtle always wins the race, right? The rabbit goes out quickly, and maybe you have some luck with a speculation on a certain investment or property or stock, and you do well in the short run. But the reality is that the more you can be disciplined and make sure you're diversified, investing is just a long term, and building that stamina from either exercise perspective, again, similar on an investing side. You know, do not get over emotional when the ups and downs. You stick to that plan overall, and as you know, the best investors are the ones that really look for the long run and continue to be consistent with putting their money aside and investing for the long run.
That's right. And with that in mind, though, it's always important to, you know, check in with yourself, check in with your financial plan, and look at the progress that you're making over time. As we've been saying, you don't go from 0 to 100 in one day, but it's always good to look at your progress that you've made, you know, and in the incremental stages. Because if you look at it, just the one idea and one goal, you need to see where you are on sort of on that track. And so when you're looking at that from the financial side, it's to really look at your financial plan. Again, you know, have your goals down, see what you need to do from a saving standpoint, from an investing standpoint. And, you know, if you may be a little bit behind and you see that you need to maybe correct the course a little bit, that you have the opportunity to do so. And again, as you work with your advisor on defining those goals and setting up that plan, you know, your advisor is also going to help you with that accountability to help you say, hey, listen, these are the goals you have in mind. This is what you want to do. This is what you need to do it. And having somebody to sort of, you know, be your advocate and sort of be a cheerleader for you is going to be super helpful as you are looking to kind of build out your, you know, your overall financial health. And again, if there are times when you want to correct the course, you're going to have somebody there that's going to, you know, help you say, hey, well, you know, if you, you know, get back to the gym, say, listen, you know, you've been focusing a lot on upper body, you know, you want to make sure you do the whole body, make sure you focus on the core, make sure you focus on lower body as well. So you have a, you know, healthy overall plan. That's really where the advisors really come into play as well.
And
Or
Michael,
if anything like me, it's just to get back to the gym.
Yeah.
That's where the personal trainer or advisor can help you
Right.
just stay on course, period.
and to me too, it's that accountability partner. So you want to do that, the trainer could tell you to stop eating the pizza, the French fries, right? And do that. And financial plan perspective and an advisor, maybe you need to cut your spending a little bit, right? And as you said, Michael, maybe you're a little bit behind. Well, if you trim your spending and save a little bit more, it's going to make a big difference. And sometimes you just need to hear that. A lot of us know that's the case, but again, having that accountability partner, both in the gym and on your financial health is really important.
And I think from the financial plan perspective, this is also where you can add in stretch goals. So let's say you're tracking your progress just like a smartwatch or something where you have little goals along the way that you've achieved this many steps and now you're doing this many miles a month and you're just kind of hitting different goals or targets along the way. The financial plan is very similar. Now you might have had outlined certain goals and your investments or your earnings are coming in even greater than expected. So now we can add on additional goals. So it can be just a fun progress map over time and help just build long-term wealth for you and your family. So next, we're going to cover just kind of a summary, JR, if you want to walk through a little bit of some of the main takeaways.
Well, again, I think as we think about the new year, it's good to stay on course, right? I mean, and I think thinking about your financial health, this isn't something that happens overnight. And it's really important to get organized, get started. Don't get worried it's not going to happen this week or this month. You really assign and let us or an advisor walk you through the process over. In some cases, it could be many years where you're setting kind of what you need to happen. And again, you check in along the way, you keep progress. And you got to stay disciplined. You can't finish your plan, whether it's your state plan or your financial plan, and assume you're done and you're good for years and years ahead. You just have to check in and stay on top of it. And then for many of our families, which have gone through a lot of this process and are really organized pretty well, that's where Megan talked about the stretch goals. And I think from many families, maybe there's other priorities now. You have more financial resources than you ever expected to have. Your estate plan is in good order. Your financial plan, you're very comfortable. Now, as you think about it, maybe you want to take a trip with the family this year. Let's test that to see how that works. Maybe you want to do more gifting or start a gifting program with your kids or grandkids. Maybe you want to pay for the college tuition that maybe wasn't on your mind, but now you think you can afford. It's a good time to reset, look at those stretch goals as you think about your health as well. You want to look a little better or try this as a priority. It's the same in your financial wealth, especially if you're already organized. It's a good time to review that and see what's possible, and then stay on track to see if it's affordable over time and make sure you're comfortable with that. So with that, we want to kind of thank you for tuning into our financial fitness check-in to start the year, and we'll all touch base again next month.
Thanks.
Thank you.